That's solid.
Yeah. So my point is, Aqib Talib is credited for helping Chris Harris get better a lot, as well as Bradley Roby, who will actually replace him.
It'd actually be pretty good. Ohio State DBs are kind of.
So what they're saying is, because we already talked about Marcus Peters last week.
Oh, and they're saying got Sam Shields not out of retirement, but he pretty much took our.
They're saying Aqib Talib is going to actually make Marcus Peters better.
That's scary.
He's a 2-time All-Pro. Like I guess one of these reporters sat down with Aqib Talib and they were just BSing talking. They were talking about Marcus Peters because Peters is outspoken. He has his own off the field, and there's a lot of similarities there.
But he does a lot for the community that no one in Kansas City like to talk about.
So,
let me get to Kansas
but they
City
were saying Marcus Peters could be even better if he had more coaching and more training, because he's like always a half step late, but he's such a superior athlete and just has superior football skills that he makes up for it. But Talib's saying if he really refines himself and really finds someone who respects it, who he respects and will listen to, he can be probably the greatest corner ever.
Yeah.
So that's the crazy part of the Talib trade. Now you put him with Wade Phillips,
man,
and you look at Wade Phillips. Like Wade Phillips,
he says he loves all his cornerbacks.
Like he's old, bro, but like people relate to him, and they always have. Like he's always dealt with characters. He's always been able to manage big personalities, like throughout his career.
In Dallas,
Buffalo,
San Diego, I think. Wasn't he?
San Diego, yeah. He's all over, bro. Like, so I think that was a great move.
His dad is like a famous head coach.
But I'm gonna give you the counterpoint, the point that everyone's missing, which is what we like to do on the Touchdowns with Tangent show.
Go for it.
They just traded away Ogletree on top of Robert Quinn.
Ogletree to the Giants.
They just gave Ogletree an extension last year. They gave Robert Quinn one in like 2015.
All that money's off their books. That's genius.
Which is fine, but remember a couple things. Number one, Robert Quinn was like their only edge rusher, and even though he's a true 4-3 defensive end, they had him playing stand-up end.
He's so athletic that he had 8.5 sacks.
No, he had 5.5.
I thought he had 8.5. Pretty sure he had.
He had 8.5
sacks.
Yeah, you're right. Brockers had 5.5.
Yeah, Michael Brockers. You want to talk about him too?
Which he actually bought out, even though he's not even a nose tackle or a 5 technique, but
he's just a defensive tackle. He's better than.
Listen, man. A lot of people are going to talk smack about Alec Ogletree because he plays high. He needs to work on going through blocks. He misses a lot of tackles. He whiffs.
He's a playmaker.
But he's a playmaker, bro. He makes plays. He gets picks. He can cover. He can fill in the run.
He's like John Beeson going to the Giants.
And he's not a 3-4 linebacker. He never was.
He was in college. He played 3-4 inside linebacker at Georgia.
Yeah, but when you're at that level, you're that athletic, you can freelance and do anything. But he is a Sam 4-3 linebacker.
He can play middle linebacker, but if you have somebody else who can play middle linebacker,
okay. Ray Lewis played both positions.
Ray Lewis wasn't a outside linebacker; he was a pure middle linebacker. Urlacher could have been an outside linebacker, but he played middle linebacker. He's more in that.
My point is, either way, whatever. We don't even have to talk about Ogletree. The point is,
you said to see him go.
The Rams lost 2 key players in their front 7, and Connor Barwin was already washed, which was really the strength of the team. True. Now, they had some role players step up, like Tanzel Smart, and Westbrook is okay. But
Ethan Westbrook,
they're going to have to get edge rushers, and hopefully
there's a lot of them in this draft. Lorenzo Carter.
There's a lot of, like, solid ones. There's only, like, one elite one, which is Chubb. Landry's the next level. After that, it's kind of like a crapshoot.
Davenport's a project.
Davenport is a project, but
they might be doing all this just to get Mo Wilkerson. And if they're going to run a 3-4, you have Mo Wilkerson and Aaron Donald on the same defensive line.
That's disgusting.
You make Michael Brockers play nose tackle.
Or if they get Sheldon Richardson.
No, they're not. Sheldon Richardson don't want to go to another 3-4. He's supposed to stay in Seattle.
Mo Wilkerson does for some damn reason because he met with the damn Packers. Now he's meeting with the Saints and the Chiefs, bro. Come on.
Look at the Packers' defense.
Yeah, their defense is on the come
Clay
up.
Matthews,
their
Nick
defense
Perry.
is on the come up. Don't say Clay Matthews like he's big. Come on.
He's a great player. He's literally the one dude.
A great washed-up dude.
No, he's not washed. It's just they made him play middle linebacker. They made him play every position at linebacker.
I wish this was live stream so you could see my eye roll when he said he's not washed.
You look high, though, so it doesn't really count.
I always look high. I just have little-ass eyes, man. Leave me alone.
There was a joke there, but it's just not worth it. But anyway, him going to Green Bay would be huge because pretty much he'd be in the NFC. Probably easier to get sacks on those NFC tackles, let's be honest. Look at the division they're in. Which one of Minnesota's left tackles can block him?
Okay.
Can Matt Khalil block him? No.
Okay. But my point is, yes.
But if he goes to the Rams, that's nightmarish.
Yes, the Rams remade their whole secondary. They improved it. But they effectively changed up the whole dynamic.
Just to give Aaron Donald money.
We don't know what their defense, what their front's going to be like. On top of that, you got Gurley's extension coming up. You got, Donald first, then you got Gurley, then you got Goff, and then you got Peters.
No, isn't Peters?
Actually, you got Peters.
Is before.
Yeah, you're right. So,
and Aqib, you got.
I'm not worried about him. He's 31 years old. He's a mercenary.
True.
So my thing is,
then they
my thing is if
they franchised LaMarcus Joyner.
Yeah. So my thing is, if for whatever reason Wade Phillips can't manage all those personalities, if they can't take care of Aaron Donald, they could easily self-destruct. We saw it with the Cowboys last year. We saw it with the Raiders last year. It's really easy to go from 11-5 to 7-9 or 6-10 in the NFL, especially when you have high turnover, especially when you have explosive personalities, especially when you really just kind of got hot as a team. So the thing is, if that happens, it's Les Snead's head because he's from the previous regime, as we know. He all of a sudden got good at his job and just started getting all these free agent acquisitions. But he's
making a bunch of ballsy trades, giving
up draft
picks.
Exactly. Not just that, but he chose LaMarcus Joyner over Sammy Watkins. I don't think Sammy Watkins is going to come back. There's reports that he's still interested, that both sides are still interested. I think they have to get something done because they gave up a second-round pick. But the reality is,
they didn't want to lose Joyner. He's too scheme versatile for them.
The reality is,
and they like Cooper Kupp better anyway.
The reality is, Sammy Watkins, he had a down year. He's battled injuries, but he's still easily one of the top 5 free agents, regardless of position.
His receiver goes, is he top 25?
He's probably top 20. He's around there. I would say
he's a top 20 receiver.
He's a number 1 receiver.
Talent, is he better than Amari Cooper? They went the same position, just different years.
They both had down years. So,
and honestly, he was really good in Buffalo. He just didn't get credit.
I would take Amari Cooper over him. Obviously, I'm biased, but I feel like
he can't keep weight.
I feel like Sammy Watkins is a little bit more of a vertical threat, but Amari Cooper is more of a blocker and short area guy.
I think it's funny. Houston, DeAndre Hopkins was recruiting Sammy Watkins back to Houston. That's scary because the last time Sammy Watkins and DeAndre Hopkins played together, I don't know how they didn't win a national title at Clemson. Because, Sammy Watkins
Boyd?
It doesn't matter. They had it was Martavis Bryant as the third receiver.
Wide receiver you?
Yeah. Then you have DeAndre Hopkins, Nuck Thompson, 16 touchdown catches, All-American. I think he won a Blitnikoff or got close to it. And Sammy Watkins was a freshman All-American. That shit was stupid ridiculous. And all 3 of those guys are major playmakers in the NFL. They just have to find their roles.
My thing is, though,
Sammy Watkins is going to make bank.
My thing is, someone's going to offer him a lot of money because there's money to throw around. This wide receiver class is not deep. I mean, it's deep, but it's not top-heavy. So you're not going to get an impact guy. Someone's going to roll the dice on Sammy Watkins. I don't know if the Rams are in the place to where they can win a bidding war.
And he's going to go to Dallas.
You factor in that you gave up a second-round pick for him for 1 year, 600, not even 1 year, 15 games, 600 yards.
8 touchdowns.
8 touchdowns.
Which is
you gave up a second-round pick for that for 1 year.
And your best corner.
You chose Joyner, which you're going to give probably 8, 9, 10 million to a year for 2 or 3 years, 5 years, whatever the case. So that was a decision you made. Then you talk about shipping out Quinn and Ogletree, which were basically products of the RG3 trade. That kind of Jeff Fisher somehow found a way to make that team mediocre, but we don't need to get into that. So you got that. You let True go. You let True go after you chose True over Jenkins, and now you have this completely rebuilt secondary, which we don't know how long Talib's going to be there because he's older, and we don't know how long Marcus Peters going to be there because he's going to need a deal in 2 years. So what I'm saying is, if the Rams do self-destruct, it's less needs head, period. So, yeah, I think that the Rams are legit. I think they have a chance at the Super Bowl. I think they're an NFC favorite. But it could easily self-destruct. And if it does, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, I mean, on the upside, it could be really good. I feel like they're really gonna, because they have the 21st overall pick. They're in a sweet spot in the draft.
But I think the point that you made that was cool, especially about the Eagles.
The Eagles learned their lesson from when they gave Nnamdi Asomugha a stupid amount of money.
No.
It didn't work out.
But what I like about this offseason and the Rams making moves, the Eagles making moves, is it feels like Madden, yes, but at the same time, these two teams that were NFC contenders last year, they're not. Well, one of them won. They're not resting on that. They're not just sitting on that. They're actually out there trying to make moves and trying to get better. And that's good for the NFL, especially right now, basketball season, and here we are sitting. I mean, we were always talking about the NFL, but
yeah,
we actually have content to talk about.
True.
The other thing, the other team that's really been in the headlines this week, and we've kind of talked about them over the past few weeks, your boy Pete Carroll's team, Seattle Seahawks. Last week he said this year was going to be a transition year. Little did we know.
Can we get that Boyz II Men song End of the Road, please?
Foreshadowing.
Just a snippet.
Not only did they trade Bennett, as we talked about, Richard Sherman's on the block. He basically tweeted various members of the Legion of Boom, various members of the Seattle Seahawks
His
defense.
mom came out on Instagram
saying that he's doesn't plan on being there. And as I told Kenny when it happened, what would you give up to be in that Seattle Seahawks defense group chat? Like, I feel like they probably have one with, like, current members, and then they probably have, like, a big-ass one with, like, BI's probably still in there, and, like,
yeah,
basically people.
Marshawn.
Yeah, Marshawn's in there.
Marshawn only really tweets, like, pictures
Jeremy
of Skittles.
Lane was in there when he signed last year, and then before he got cut and came back, and then they added him back to the other one.
Yeah, like old school Seahawks might be in it.
Like Mebane.
Brandon Mebane.
Yeah,
Brandon Mebane.
The other old ass Alan Branch, they're probably in it.
What's the dude out of Georgia? Damn, I forget his name right now, but there's a guy. He played for the Raiders.
Aaron Curry probably gets screenshots every now and then.
Aaron Curry.
He's not in. They just send him a screenshot every now and then.
Like,
hey, bro,
you're trash. Are you still alive?
Hey, bro. No, he's actually coaching.
He was still trash as a player.
I mean, he had no knees, bro. But Wake Forest though.
He had 4 high speed. That's cute, but he was trash. He's a bust.
Oh, for sure. He was the number 4 pick.
Major bust. He was a bigger bust than.
But it wasn't
Vernon
his fault.
Gholston.
His knees were shot.
Don't blame his knees.
His knees were shot. No, Vernon Gholston was worse because Vernon Gholston didn't even start for like 4 years. Aaron Curry put up starts, bro.
They should have just made him.
He just got hurt.
They're like,
he got hurt.
Edge rusher.
They drafted BI. They replaced him. They tried to move him inside. They already had KJ.
They're pretty much building this team around Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner.
Yep.
That's what they're building the team around. Which you should, because Bobby Wagner's an all-pro
Because
linebacker.
Cam Chancellor, as we've talked about before, he's probably not going to play again. Cliff Averill might not play again.
Neck injuries.
And then
KJ Wright's expendable.
Earl Thomas is on the trade block.
He probably knew something that we all didn't. That they were going to get rid of everybody. He's like, man, Dallas, come get me. I played in Texas. Come get me, Jerry. Which would be a stupid move by the Seahawks.
I really don't want to see Earl Thomas play anywhere else.
I mean,